right, so now we have established what GIFs are. We've established brands. We're going to bring up our community. So if you are waiting in the waiting room, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you. If you're watching on LinkedIn, please repost it so we can get more people that know about the Rising Tide community. Richard Liverman, first on the page, UK search. UK search and Richard Liverman, don't be boring. Branded. What's up, Richard? Can you take 60 seconds? Who are you? What do you believe in? And what's your tagline?
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Good evening.
I'm Richard. My tagline is "Don't be boring," and I think it's really important because so many people are boring in their thinking, boring in their execution, and I kind of like people who either are interesting or want to be interesting. And what that does is it means I get to work with great people with branding, coaching, mentoring, consultancy. I love it. Absolutely love it. And today's topic of GIFs is great because I think they're a really interesting way of communicating, and I'm really, really excited. And I kind of wanted to share a little bit of exciting news tonight.
Please.
And I'm really excited. I've been invited to the Houses of Parliament in the UK for lunch next week for work I've done supporting businesses in the UK.
Wow.
And it's really, really exciting. I was chatting to Elizabeth about it, on doing some filming and how to make the most of the opportunity. But I want to be the first person from the Rising Tide community to use GIFs in the Houses of Parliament in London.
How are you going to go about doing that?
Well, I'm going to wear some cool pink shoes and do an Instagram story and, try and make the Parliament a little less boring.
Beautiful.
But it's really, really exciting. And I just think, January can sometimes be a pretty bleak month, and just thought it'd be nice to share some exciting news.
Well, congratulations. Can you explain to those that don't understand what you're talking about? How are you going to capture the content, and how is it going to get turned into a GIF?
Well, I think it's a case of, it was really interesting because I live about 90 miles north of London. And one of the things that I've been talking to Elizabeth about is how can I create better content? Less boring, I think would be an Elizabeth term. And one of the things we've done is we've created a shot list, and it's creating all these different shots I'm going to take during the day, a couple of seconds long, from the train journey down there. Elizabeth wants the classic "mind the gap," which is a classic London expression, which is going to kill me being like a local person doing tourist shots. Like, and maybe a picture of Big Ben coming out my head or something.
That would be fantastic.
But then I'm going to sort of put this all together and create an Instagram reel with it. But what I've been doing is I've got customized GIFs, and I've been adding some of those to some of my reels. I use them a lot on Instagram and LinkedIn. So for me, it's about, okay, how can I supersize my content? And for an opportunity like the one that I've got, how can I supersize the opportunity and make it fun, and just sort of bring a bit of life to it? And I think for me, it's a really good way of doing it. I love using GIFs. And for me, it's those micro connections with people. And what's great about GIFs is you can communicate a great deal with them in a microsecond. Yeah. And, they have lit my business up for a couple of years. And I know Elizabeth tells me off for looking at my stats all the time, but my GIFs have been viewed over 650 million times.
It's crazy. It's
insane.
Elizabeth, how long? What's the duration length? Because we're talking about an animation. Is that correct? Is that like the technical term for a GIF? But you can take a photo and turn it into an animation, and you can take a video. Like, what's the length, I guess?
Yeah, so I think that you can have them up to 15 seconds long.
Wow, really?
The only problem with that, because you think about some of the movie GIFs that you've seen where it's like an extended edition of that. But the problem with that is the quality is going to be downgraded severely because the size of the file needs to be super small. Now, to make it a GIF, there has to be at least one pixel that's changing that it can alternate between. And so it can be a photo that just like grows and shrinks just a little bit, and maybe only it has 2 frames in it where it's popping just back and forth, but those are still considered the GIFs. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Ian, welcome to the Rising Tide call. Grateful for you to join us. Can you take 60 seconds? Who are you? What are you building? And what's your tagline?
All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm with EHS Recruiting Company. We are a hospitality-oriented recruiting business. Our office is focused in Los Angeles and Southern California. So we help find talent from sous chefs all the way to the C-suite, basically. So any salaried management positions is what we're about. Personal tagline is not something I've really thought of, to be honest with you. So
Yeah.
I'm going to borrow one. Which is, we all do better when we all do better. I mentioned that quote last time. It's something that I view is kind of my personal outlook when it comes to our business. We have a network of offices nationwide. When we sign a client, all of our offices benefit from that client. You know, that's our perspective. When we help people find jobs, we're helping businesses and people that are looking for work. So that's our mentality across the board, is we all do better when we all do better. And then otherwise, on the topic of GIFs, I love GIFs. I use them all the time. I use them on LinkedIn. Not many people use them on LinkedIn. And
You want me to tell you why I don't use them on LinkedIn?
Go for it.
They're not mobile. They don't allow me to do it from the mobile app. You got to be on a desktop.
Yep.
I would use them all the time on LinkedIn.
You have to have them saved as well. So they need to integrate it into the platform. So they definitely need to up their GIF game.
Yeah.
But
Ian, it's worth the effort. It's worth the effort. And what I found is, since using GIFs on LinkedIn is really disruptive, because I think people read reams and reams of text. Yeah. And for me, I use kind of GIFs just to be really disruptive and to cause a bit of mischief. But what it does is it's kind of, a positive disruption. And I think what's really interesting, if you go to the effort of setting them up, you can have so much fun with them and you really, really stand out. And one of the best examples I can give you, Simon Sinek, who does a post and has like 10,000 responses, I'll do a little GIF response and I have half a dozen people like it or comment and try and connect. And I think that idea of being disruptive, and there's a little bit, I think, with B2B where people can be a bit boring and a bit like, oh, well, this is the way we've always done it. Why? Go be disruptive. It's worth the effort, honestly.
Couldn't agree more.
It's so true.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and there are 4 places that you can use the GIFs on LinkedIn. One is, of course, is in the DMs. They actually have a GIF search bar in the DMs, but you can post. It's not Giphy, so you don't just like have your GIFs in there. It's a whole thing. We'll get to that. But you can post them as your main post. So let's say you just do a meme day where you pick Meme Monday or whatever, and you choose a GIF and just commiserate with people about Mondays or whatever. You can post them, but you can comment with them on there. Anywhere there's the picture button, you can actually use a GIF on LinkedIn, but you can also use them in newsletters, which is really cool because the newsletter heading will animate, they'll animate within your newsletter, etc. But one of my favorite parts about using GIFs on LinkedIn is they animate in the notifications. So when someone hits the little notification thing on their phone, one of the little pictures in their little notifications is actually moving and you can't help but want to click on it. So anyway, but LinkedIn is a very powerful place for you to use your GIFs. So back to you, Sean.
Ian, anything else you wanted to add about GIFs?
Yeah, I mean, we just did a post today. I've been kind of doing like Fun Friday GIFs the last few weeks for our company page, and doing something that it breaks through the noise. So you all you see all day is video or text or whatever. You don't see a lot of GIF posts, so it is fun, and I like commenting with them. And commenting with them, I feel like it lets the reader interpret it the way they want. So you can offend somebody really easily with text and saying something that gets taken the wrong way. But a GIF, most of them are playful, most of them are fun. It's going to be pretty hard to offend somebody most of the time.
That's a great point. It is much, much harder to get upset with a GIF.
It's very, very true. But I will say it has become a part of our culture to use these references that are pop culture, where we identify, we understand the emotion and the story in this 2-second moment to be able to express our emotions, etc. So like my favorite GIF is the so excited GIF with the little girl with the cotton candy. She's at some sort of sporting event. It's a video, and she just is like, oh, so excited. But it's that gets across that point of like the sugar high, but also that like energy that you can't contain. And so when people are using the GIFs, they're actually digitally trying to connect emotionally, whether it's through commiseration, celebration, or through trying to share emotions and understand using pop culture references, sports figures, etc., to be able to share what they're actually thinking, feeling. Back to you.
Is there a way to add a GIF to an email signature?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So anytime you open up an email and something is moving, changing color, the sail is blinking, the shoes are alternating through, it's actually a GIF, because there is no way that video within an email can start playing unless you actually click on it to play. So I've had some clients actually create animated GIFs that have a play button of them like kind of talking. And so it looks like, oh, if I click on that, there's movement there if I click on it, but they have actually hyperlinked to their YouTube
nice
page, etc. But I have a friend, she's a watercolor artist. She sends every Tuesday, she sends out a watercolor tip. So people are used GIFs for tutorials. And so she'll have a GIF in the bottom of her email that very quickly shows someone how to paint a watercolor bird or something. That her name's Amaryllis Henderson. If you're curious, Watercolor Devo is her handle. But it's really cool to be able to have the tutorials and answering FAQs in the in an email. But you can have an email signature, like Sean actually. His email signature has "Be the Show, Not the Commercial," but he could embed his GIF that is "Be the Show, Not the Commercial," that says at Cali Barbecue Media or CaliBarbecueMedia.com at the bottom of it. So it could actually be that. I have several real estate agents that we create business card versions of this that become their email signature that kind of draws attention to their phone number and their email address, all that stuff. Anyway, back to you.
Awesome. Mandy, welcome. Happy 2025. Can you let the community know who are you, what are you building, and what's your tagline?
Hi, everybody. Happy 2025. Ian, I just want to just build on something you said really quick. You said that GIFs bring it, they disarm sometimes like awkward situations. I think we are in such an intense world right now. Anytime we could bring levity and light to a situation, just do it. And I think GIFs are the right way to do it. So, Ian, thanks for bringing that up. It helped me think a little bit more about trying to bring joy and levity. So thanks for saying that. My name is Mandy Graziano. I'm a multi-business owner, author, podcast host of Adventures in Business Live. And I run a company called FaceTime Coaching Company, where we coach salespeople one-on-one or in groups for corporations to be more memorable in the marketplace and to be more creative closers and faster closers by, like Richard said, not being boring. So I don't know. It's funny you say tagline. I have a thing about the word tagline and newsletter and all that. I always try and like swap different words out. So in my book, instead of taglines, I said Mandyisms. So I've got a whole bunch of weird little Mandyisms. And I've been working with Elizabeth for a couple of years. I don't have 650 million views, but my GIFs have had about 6 million views in the last couple of years. That's more visibility than I would have had if I didn't have a GIF. So even if you have 50,000 views, it's just do it. And some of those taglines or Mandyisms that are on there are never ever talk about the weather unless you're a farmer. And that is, just all about building better conversations. And I also say go get 'em Tiger a lot. And I did not know that we could put the GIFs on a signature line. So even as we speak, I'm literally putting there's a GIF that I have of me with a banana to my ear that says, "What made you laugh today?" Because I've been swapping out, "How are you?" with "What made you laugh today?" So I'm going to put my banana GIF on my signature line as soon as we're done with this. So thanks for that suggestion. And I'm super stoked about this conversation.
That's wonderful. Can I ask Mandy a quick question?
Of course.
And I may be getting this story wrong, but were you at a conference in like the past and somebody came up to you and quoted you back to yourself? And
yeah.
Is that true?
It's GIFs all the time. I mean, anytime I use So when I give a speech, I actually have a section where I talk about how to be more memorable in the marketplace. And I talk about using GIFs as a way to be more memorable in the marketplace. So I lead people to a LinkedIn post that has a GIF of me kicking, saying, "Go get him, Tiger." And so people pull it up in the middle of the session and they're commenting on it or whatever. And then people come up after, because then once they see one GIF, they see a bunch of other GIFs. So they're always quoting GIFs that they've seen. And it's like I may not have never met somebody before, but they've seen the GIF before they ever met me. So yeah, it is great for visibility. Yeah. And I incorporate, I literally use Elizabeth's name and her tagline in my speeches now to send people to them. Like, if you do not have a GIF for your business, you need a GIF for your business. So it's been an important part of my world in the last couple of years.
Mercedes, welcome. Can you quickly share who are you? What are you building in 2025, and what's your tagline?
Hi, I'm Mercedes, coming from sunny San Diego. I'm the Director of Sales and Events for the Wood Group in Pacific Beach, as well as the VP of Events for HSMEI San Diego. What am I doing in 2025? Or my tagline, I guess, is if you wanted to, you would. So my whole thing is just committing to doing things that, even if I don't have the resources, I can build my community to get the resources. So that's my whole thing for 2025.
Do you use GIFs?
Of course, I love GIFs.
It
adds personality, I think, for me. And I usually do it mostly in a joking way. Like, if there's a fun joke gift, that's like my favorite way of doing it. But I think that it breaks up the normal text that we see when we're like commenting for each other, and kind of just makes it more personable and relatable.
Awesome. Adam, are you here? I see you, kind of. We can't hear you. Can you hear me now? We can't hear you. Something with his audio. Maybe, okay, maybe go in and come back out. Select the right mic. And for anybody that's watching the live stream, we appreciate you. Please join the conversation. Happy to have more people up here on stage. I'm going to pass it back to Elizabeth to go a little bit deeper of different ways that we can use GIFs. I mean, I'd love to talk about Slack, company Slack channels. I mean, I mean, me as a marketer, I'm always thinking of like, how do I publish content to the entire internet? There's the subspace of the internet, which is a text chain, a WhatsApp app, a Slack channel. But how can you creatively use GIFs within the company communication?
Oh, that's a really great question, and I'm glad that you kind of talked about the different areas of addressing these the different ways that you're using them, because sometimes the GIFs are just being broadcast when you're using them in posts, when you're adding them to your content, etc. Like there's a blast part of this that you're doing, but then there's the engagement side where you are reacting to someone else's piece of content. And when you can start thinking about that in the marketing side of things, that you organically can comment on someone else's post with a branded GIF. For instance, Charlie Eblin has a happy birthday GIF that we created for Single Tree Barbecue. If somebody comes to his restaurant celebrating their birthdays, the restaurant can see where they've been tagged, go and comment on it with a custom happy birthday GIF that's addressed to them. So it's these reaction side of GIFs, but of course the community part. And I'll get to the employees in just a second, but teaching your community how to use your GIFs, how to tell them that you are on Instagram stories, that they can hit the GIF sticker button and add your stickers to their content whenever they're at your hotel or using your product or whatever, and how they can address that. But even in the comments section, how people can use those and DM them to each other. So let's say, and then we talked about discoverability part, but let's talk about the employee side of things. Of course, their custom GIFs will help in your community to drive home those taglines. So it's not just Sean saying be the show, not the commercial anymore. It's everybody on the team. When that's shared as like the team cheer or sign off. Same with the quality plus quantity equals consistency. When, by the way, Sean, when people type in the word consistency in GIF search, they're choosing the Cali barbecue GIF 3.57% of the time.
Wow, that's awesome.
So there, that message that you're getting across about showing up consistently online, but it's a way for you to harness that. There's the official GIFs from Bubbly, the drink, like Michael Bublé, Bubbly. They actually create cocktail GIFs that show the product in action. And so I would imagine, even in the community side of things, having a set of GIFs that that drill home some of the major themes that you're focusing on that year, or reminders of when they're on a sales call, what to act like, right, Mandy, and what to say and what not to say, and all of those things. But even in just the camaraderie, because we talk, I mean, this room is called digital hospitality, and it doesn't get much more hospitable digitally than for you to interact and show a little bit of personality in these areas. So on Slack, when you can show off your sense of humor, or maybe because I know, like, if you're cult following or whatever, like you could show off. So for instance, today we are getting snow for the first time in 3 years, and so our town is losing its mind, and our police department had posted a picture pretending like we're on that snowy planet in Star Wars, and there was like the AT-AT that's like coming over the horizon. So I commented with a GIF of a joke of what's the temperature inside of a tauntaun, and it's a picture of Luke Skywalker, and it just says lukewarm. Anyway, but I was able to comment with a GIF on that to show my personality, to show I knew, because they didn't reference the giant robot that's walking over the skyline, but to say, I know what you're talking about and let me interact with it. So especially for teams like Cali Barbecue Media that are remote, it's a way for them to have office banter without being by the water cooler, but doing that in a fun way where you're still streamlining, getting things done. I know it was a really long answer in and around, but I'll hand it back.
No, that was great. What's the difference between a GIF and a meme?
So, personally, I don't think that memes necessarily, well, I guess some of them do move. Memes are this idea of you're taking a scene, an action, a moment, and you are using that moment to represent another feeling or moment that often has nothing to do with the thing itself. You remember the a couple years ago, the the garbage, the dumpster that was on fire, that was like floating down, or that was, anyway, and people have taken on dumpster fire to mean their own thing. And so they might put in it, this is how my Monday is going, and it's a picture of the dumpster fire, or a GIF for that. And so to me, a meme has to have some sort of reference that is outside of the thing itself, that it's trying to identify with you, and they give you that reference in the text that's on the above it in white, or that's on the thing itself. This conversation feels a little bit like bourbon and whiskey, right? where there's I think all bourbons are whiskeys, but whiskeys aren't bourbons. Is that how that works? I'll have to ask my husband, and if I get it wrong, he's probably going to get really mad at me. But I think that that's not true. I think that GIFs can be memes, and I think that memes can include GIFs. I hope that kind of makes sense. So I'll give it back to you now.
That's great. Adam, Mr. Wi-Fi, are we connected to the internet now? Yes, I can. You can.
Yes. This app, I'm on the iOS right now, right? So the app physically rebooted my phone.
Really?
Within about, yeah. So as you were saying, can you hear me? I was like, oh, I'll reconnect. Then I reconnected to this really cool background on my phone, which is quite nice. And then it failed 3 times, but I'm here. I'm finally here. And,
persistence.
I'm connected. I quite like the virtual background because I'm in my kitchen at the moment. So, and it's looking a bit messy. So I'm glad that.
Well, Adam, take 60 seconds. Who are you? What are you building? And what's your tagline?
I'm Adam. I'm the founder of Captive Wi-Fi. We basically help customers with their restaurants with their first-party data and plugging it into really awesome loyalty platforms. It's all about connecting, converting, and building your community, which this is a community, right? So that's one of the things we do. I'm the Mr. Wi-Fi guy. I've been in hospitality tech for 20 years, looking after IT for lots of restaurants over in the UK, and built the Wi-Fi platform about 3 years ago, and are slowly rolling out to America. All of like 30 sites so far. Whoop, whoop. But based in the UK. We work with lots of hospitality marketers, awesome platforms. One that you guys will know, which is Incentivio.
Huge
We also
incentive.
work with awesome. We also work with Como and all the way down to Mailchimp. So across the board, we basically help our clients understand what they're doing with the data. There's lots of the restaurants out there that just don't know what they're doing. They're either not collecting first-party data, they're not utilizing it the right way, they're not communicating the right way. And it's all about building the community within your brand. So we're not just a Wi-Fi company, we're pointing people in the right direction. And basically guiding them to use their data in the right way. There's so much out there to be used, right? It's not just about someone placing an order on your Toast app within your site or on a kiosk. There's lots more to do that can be done with communicating and bringing them back. So we basically end up making restaurants more money, which is really good, and mainly from the Wi-Fi. I'm building a product called Table Ready, which is nearly ready. And that's very much into bringing some retail technology into hospitality. So the likes of Shopify that's out there, you go on Shopify, you go to the Nike store, you put your Air Force Ones in the basket, and Nike will email you back an hour later saying, do you want your shiny Air Force Ones? But if you go to book a restaurant and then you leave, they don't know what's happened, who you are, you're anonymous. So we're building tech to make that journey a lot nicer, helping you remember your preferences, helping you to say, hey, you booked a table for 2 on Tuesday. Would you still want this table? And helping you upsell. So that's one of the big things we're doing. We're nearly ready. And one of the first pieces we're doing is actually sending restaurant reservations data into different CRMs. So imagine getting a really nice booking email. I don't know if you've received a booking email from a restaurant recently, but they're pretty pants. Don't look very nice, very British term.
What did you
sorry.
say? Pants?
Pants, yeah, pants.
Like
As in not as in
PANTS?
trousers. Not so in the UK, pants is underwear. Remember,
And
not,
if
not
it's really
trousers.
bad, Adam, it's brown pants.
Brand pants?
Brown.
brown
Brown
pants.
Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, brown. Yeah, no one wants to wear.
It's really pants.
Yeah, it's pants. There's a really good. I'm going to share on the group actually a Graham Norton interview with a couple of Americans talking about some really nice, quirky English statements. I won't go into it now anyway. But yeah, so basically helping with that journey. Imagine getting a really nice booking email from a customer in brand, upselling everything you do with online ordering and events and so on. It just doesn't happen at the moment. It's horrible. And they're all stuck in the dark ages. So we want to we're not a reservation company. We want to make res better and plug it in. So the dream is touchless loyalty. So you go to the venue, you connect to the Wi-Fi, you book a table. Why do you need to download an app and scan a QR code? I know who you are. I know you've visited. You don't need to. I know you've been there already. It's all about the touch point. So imagine going to a venue, connecting to the Wi-Fi maybe, or booking a table, and then just leaving. I know who you are. I know what you've spent because you've booked a table. You've got your integration through the till system. I know what you've spent. I know who you are. Let me send you an email a couple of days later saying, thanks so much for spending $100 in our restaurant. Here, come back next time and have a free side. Why should you have to make the customer fill out a form, scan a QR code? The dream for this year is building touchless loyalty, making it as easy as possible for that person to walk in, be known, and reap the benefits. And it's not about, people talk about loyalty all the time, and lots of loyalty is buy and get one free, right? And that's bribery. So we speak to a lot of marketers all the time, and it's very much, is loyalty bribery or is loyalty really loyalty? Building that sense of community. I don't want to give you X to get X back. I want you to speak to us and work with us and come back with your friends and enjoy. So this year is very much the year of touchless loyalty, building Table Ready. My tagline is always stay connected, whichever piece of data you have, because it's super important. Whether it be email, SMS, whether it be WhatsApp, which you guys don't use very much over there. Soon, maybe.
No, we don't.
And and you know, any piece of that is getting connected, right? From all the way into the restaurant and all the way out. So that's me.
Do you have any GIFs? Have you made any
Yeah,
GIFs?
I do, and I actually amaze all my friends and clients about it, because Elizabeth has done two variations for me. Actually, we did a little rebrand, and we do have them, and we have it in our footer for our signature, which is awesome. We do customer feedback as well, so we've got an awesome customer feedback one which rotates. But I'm with you, Sean. I heard you earlier because I was listening on YouTube on the way back. And I am on mobile quite a lot. I'm not on desktop. So I do think we should campaign for LinkedIn to add a Giphy keyboard into it. It's not difficult to do. It would be an amazing thing for it to happen. I need to do it more. In fact, I do have them all saved on my desktop. And I do need to book in a time with Elizabeth to do some more stuff with her. And to the point of, we've got a coffee brand that's just opened up we work with, that's opened up in the US. I think Texas was their first one. It's called Black Sheep Coffee. So you should go check it out. And he was like in awe of the GIFs. So I'm actually meeting the actual marketing team next week to have a chat about them doing some really cool stuff. Because in business, it's a game changer. I mean, you've seen some of Richard's ones. His kids are awesome. Like I can't get over some of the stuff and also obviously Scott's as well. So I think GIFs make an awesome statement. It changes the conversation piece of just general people replying. It makes like an impact on everything. And I think it actually helps the communication throughout when you are having the conversation. So if you just see general conversation and then you see a big fat GIF moving about on there, I think it really does make a big change in helping you communicate more. And you know how that community, you want more people to start typing, you want more people to make comments. I think probably Elizabeth should probably do some stats. Actually, you'll probably find that more people have commented more on threads that have GIFs in them.
Can I jump in here really quick? Because Adam, you just reminded me of two personal ways that I've used GIFs before. I know we're talking about professional for branding, but two personal ways that helped connect that I totally forgot about. Last year, my husband's 50th birthday, I made a gift for him. So I have the Giphy account. I am not Elizabeth, so it is not pretty, it is not fancy, but it was a gift that I gave him, and it was a comment that he makes all the time, which is, "It's halftime, son." And he turned 50, so it was very relevant. I just looked at the stats on that because I've only looked at it one time. That thing has 1.4 million views. I have no idea who's checking it out, maybe for 50th birthdays, but that was something personal because I don't have a lot of time. And I took the time to make a gift for him. And he was able to send that out to his buddies and family. And that was a gift of a gift that really meant a lot to him. And then another time I used a gift for personal is to connect with my 11-year-old niece, who is super, super tech enabled and barely talks to anybody. And she and I made a gift together. We used the Giphy account. We made a little gift together. I took a picture of her. I'm like, "What's something you say all the time?" And we put it on there. I still don't understand what her saying was, but she shared that with her friends. And that was a thing that we connect with each other. So now every now and again, I send her gift and she sends it back to me. So I recommend you get them highly, like, professionally done with Elizabeth, because she does them better. But it's a great gift for personal. It's a great way to connect.
That's awesome.
And I guess it also saves on merch as well, right? You don't need to buy merch if you can get an awesome gift.
There you go. And so really quickly, to Mandy, and then I'm going to go to Adam for a second. But Mandy, so the reason that his GIF is being found is because when you keyworded "happy 50th birthday" in it, that's what people are searching, and it's getting served. So I had your stats pulled up for this, but that's one way that they're finding it, is because you have that in the back end. So over to Adam for a second. He is using them to educate his audience. And so one of his GIFs that I love is the one that says 86% of people who opt in to the 86% will opt in when they're logging into the Wi-Fi. And especially, anyway, the reason that's important is because he was saying 25% opt in to email when they're booking a table, but 86%. And we made these stats GIFs that he can quickly convey this information to clients, to people of some of the power of them setting it up. The other thing I love about Adam's GIFs, and we've done this for several others on different things, is Adam has a podcast, right? Adam, what's the name of your podcast?
Captive Conversation.
Captive Conversations. And so we created a series of GIFs for the podcast. One are GIFs that he can comment with, etc. But we've created some gift stickers that when he's sharing an episode, he has a logo for the podcast that he can use. But also something that people may not know is in Instagram stories that you can actually layer a gift sticker on top of a URL link. So you can create your own custom buttons for either your new episode, latest blog, etc. Or I have friends, some and clients that do discovery calls where it's a branded to them button where people can click on the discovery call or follow this link or something, but it's branded to them. And that's something I do want to get across. You know, we have different people talking about the gifts I've made for them. And Scott asked me this question on his podcast the other day about the process. And what I love to do is I love to crawl inside the brand that this person is, because I'm working with a wide range of people, luxury real estate agents that want to show up sophisticated, and so we make them look like metallic and do these things with the gifts that reference them. And then I have other people that want to show up with humor and a little bit of fun, and like Mandy doing high kicks on there. And even for me, I have to marry your brand kit, so your colors, your fonts, all those things, with the personality that's coming from the brand. Because in animation, we can actually convey a lot of that. It just how it shows up on whether it fades in smoothly and sophisticated, or it punches you in the face like some of the Cali Barbecue Media gifts do. Back to you, Sean.
Can you share for the people that are listening, you guys, you're listening at the Digital Hospitality feed. We appreciate you. We'd love for you to join our live shows. But for the people that are listening, that are thinking through the exercise of what is my tagline, what is my company tagline, and how can I creatively use GIFs? And I'll let first you, Elizabeth, and then Richard, Mandy, anyone else that wants to comment on that. Go ahead. I'm going to switch my mic, so I'm still here. I'm just coming right back in. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Sure thing. So for myself, I worked with Richard to find what my tagline was. And he actually has a webinar coming up about finding your brand DNA. And we'll try to drop the link in all the places for you to be able to sign up for that. Because I was operating in so many areas, and he was helping me boil down to what the DNA of how I'm wanting to show up. And what's funny is Ian touched on it, and then Mandy highlighted it. And I saw Richard's face light up when they were talking about it, because my tagline is bring joy. And I'm trying to bring joy back to the engagement side of social media, of sending these little bits of joy in people's days. And so there's that part. But for me, because sometimes I'm working with people who have, like Sean said, they've never thought about their tagline before. Like they've never considered this. And so I get them to ask their spouse or ask their business partner, hey, what's something that I say all the time? Like, when something good happens, what's my reaction to that? When I'm giving advice, what's something that I'm saying on a regular basis? And so starting to kind of farm in that area of these things that do it. But for me, it was this giant Venn diagram of all my pursuits, whether it's my spiritual life or my music or my art or all of these other things. The cross section for all of it was bring joy. And so that's how I found my tagline. So you said Richard next, so I'll hand it to him.
You live and breathe that. And I think what's really interesting is the really great taglines. If you think about a global brand, and we'll go with the most obvious and easiest one because they make the best pink shoes in the world, which is Nike. Right? Theirs is just do it. And what's so amazing about that is they live and breathe that value. And what's so fantastic about yours and the joy side of it is that if you work with Elizabeth, hang out with her in real life, which I've been lucky enough to do, there's this joy and energy. And I think for me is a tagline is more than just a few words. It's almost like a way of life. So if you're going to have something, make sure it kind of sums up your personality, sums up your brand, because then for me, it allows you to go play. And I think what's great with GIFs is it allows you to play and communicate in a way that is really simple and fun. But in order to do that, I think, as you have often said, Elizabeth, it's almost creating that playground in which you get to do your best work. And I think a tagline is so much more than just a few words. It brings like your personality, your ethos, and everything through. And just think about the brands that you've got in your house, in your life, that you love and connect with. You know, think about BMW, for instance, the ultimate driving machine, Vossbrunndijk Technic, all of these things that we know. And then think about what does ours say about us? What does it say about our mindset and our business? Because GIFs are about making it easy to communicate. I think taglines are there to almost give us a clue about the brand or the business we're kind of interacting with. And that's why yours is brilliant, Elizabeth, because it is you. And with mine, Don't Be Boring, it's more than a tagline. It's a way of life. It's a mantra. And I think when you've got something like that to go play with, then you can bring it into your communications, and it helps other people understand who and what it is you do.
Mandy, from a sales perspective, you're probably one of the best people that incorporate sales and marketing. Like, you know, one of the biggest struggles that I see as companies grow is that there's this disconnect between the sales side of the organization and the marketing side. And we live in a storytelling side. So really everyone's in sales and everyone's in marketing. Can you talk about, from a sales perspective, how someone that's in a sales organization can start to think like, oh, well, that's the marketing team's job to make their own GIFs? Can you talk about why salespeople should think, well, maybe I can have my own GIFs, or I can build out GIFs? You know, let's think about Toast. Toast has so many salespeople in their organization where if they had their own GIFs that they could use hyper localized to San Diego or San Antonio or UK, like how can they use those GIFs to show up, right? Pattern interrupt. How do we interrupt the pattern of getting the attention of crazy restaurant business owners? Like, how can they use those?
If I had $1 for every salesperson that said, oh, the creative stuff is the marketing team's job. So salespeople have to get over that from the beginning, because people buy from people. They don't buy from the brand. The people are the vehicle to the brand, right? So if you look at Ryan Reynolds' Instagram page versus Wrexham football team, he's got way more followers. You look at Kylie Cosmetics, has way less followers than Kylie Jenner. Those are just two. But if I worked for an organization, let's use Toast. I think that's a great example. If I was a salesperson for Toast, I would remember that the way I am going to stay on a customer or future prospect's radar is by being clever, by being interesting, and having my own GIF as a salesperson in that particular market is really, really important, because it's going to make the customer remember you when they need you. And when you've got a global sales enterprise, every single market is so different. So the needs of the buyers in Arizona are different than the needs of the buyers in Boston, than the needs of the buyers in the UK, than the needs of the buyers in Brazil. I mean, I was just working with a wine company the other day, and we literally went through what their salespeople need to do to be more memorable and interesting in Oregon, in Brazil, and South America, in Sonoma. The buyers are different. So if you are a salesperson and you are looking to stand out, to stay on somebody's radar, to be memorable, a GIF is an excellent, excellent way to do it. And yes, you can use your company's overarching logo with that,
Yep.
but pair that with your personality, because it's going to be your personality that makes people remember you. And that's all you need to do. You don't need to propose on the first date, right? You don't need to close the deal on the first conversation. You just need to compel the person to want to talk to you just one more time.
People buy people,
and
Mandy.
do that. Yeah.
People buy people. And I think it's one of those, I was talking to Scott about this the other day. People buy people. And it's great having the digital world. We all love it. But when it comes to sales, we might have the best proposition in the world. But if we're a crappy salesperson and go with the wrong mindset, no one cares.
I agree. And one other thing, Sean, about the sales and marketing rub right there. This is a time-honored tradition. Every organization in the world, there's always a rub between sales and marketing, and it's not fair at all. And advice I
Well, it's
would
also
give-
marketing and operations.
It
Like
is.
it's
What-
me and Eric. We've been the yin and yang of each other for the 16 years of running Cali Barbecue. I was like, we need to we need to marketing, we need more sales. We're like, we need to run the operations
Yeah,
so that we can take care of the people that you bring into the restaurant.
And he probably looks at you like you're a crazy person
Yeah.
because of your marketing ideas.
All of it.
And you probably look at him like, get it done, dude. I got
Yeah.
bigger ideas. But I will say sales and marketing, if you're a salesperson or a marketing person, there are so many more opportunities now to work together to
Yes.
actually get the job done. So just drop this whole, it's your job. No, it's your job. GIFs is actually a grand unifier between those two. So if you want to build a better relationship with your ops department or your marketing department, a GIF could bring you together just internally is another suggestion.
Amazing. Ian, I wanted to get your take on the recruiting world. Any ideas been sparked about what kind of GIFs the recruiting world? I mean, we're hiring, right? Hiring for hospitality, hiring for leadership. These are all like, what are the frequently asked, frequently used terms and whatever your niche is? And like, how do you use a GIF to stand out, right?
I've been like thinking about ideas for all the GIFs I need Elizabeth to make for me. Like this whole episode, like I'm just like, we need a congratulations for when people get a new job. We need hiring GIFs. We need, just so many. And, I'm on LinkedIn like most of the day, myself. And so I use a lot of the stock ones and all that. And I went on Giphy and animated our logo. And so I use that on our, Instagram posts and stories and things like that. So like dabbled in the waters, but, like we definitely need to up our GIF game and customize them. But yeah, I think it'll make somebody stand out a lot by having those things that, really feel catered to the event. So, branding it and, leveling that up is a huge idea, and so I love it. And yeah, I would comment on a lot of people's posts on LinkedIn with our branded GIFs, and it would be super relevant. So I need to make a list of all the different ones I need, and they're gonna happen. So there's deals being done live here right now. So
I love it. Well, Elizabeth, before I forget, do you know if you can respond on Yelp or on Google to a review with a GIF? I'm putting you on the spot here. I just thought about it and thinking about from like our brand partners, we work with Marquee, which is an amazing platform that allows us to respond to Facebook comments, respond to Yelp comments, respond to Google, all from one platform, allows us to update our hours. So we love Marquee, but I'm just thinking from like how do we stand out from a review versus like there are AI generated reviews where they're actually text-based, but like thanking somebody in a GIF way is a much deeper way to let people know that, that we care and we appreciate them writing a review for our business.
Yeah, sure. So I do not know the specific answer to that, but I will do the research to try to find that out for you. If anybody else knows, feel free to like speak up. But I did want to mention that on YouTube, if you have a YouTube channel, when you go to your channel, there's little tabs at the top, and one of them says community, and you can actually post posts on your community board on YouTube, and GIFs do work there. You have to upload them from your computer to that space, but it is another place that I'm sorry. Well, I mean, actually, I don't know that that's the case. They don't have a Giphy keyboard, but so you might be able to do it from your phone. I will also look into that one.
Perfect.
For you, Sean. I wanted to tell one really quick on the response to something Ian said on LinkedIn, especially. This is something that Scott and I have talked a lot about with the Auden Hospitality GIFs. By the way, you can search his handle as well at Auden Hospitality in any GIF search to find the GIFs we've made for him. But he and Richard are like my poster children for using GIFs on LinkedIn. And so for a while there, we had made Scott a congratulations GIF that was a glass of champagne, just a little bubbles showing up, etc. And so he would go, because what is For the majority, I would love to know the percentage of this. For the people that are showing up on LinkedIn minimally, what are the posts that they're showing up to do? I changed my job.
Yep.
I got a promotion.
Yep.
Or I'm leaving this company or something
Yep.
like that. So, and for any of those, you can say congratulations. But again, people just type in congrats and like these little comments in there. And so Scott was actually using his congratulations GIF up on a post. And within 5 minutes of him commenting with it, he received a call from this gentleman that said, I'm opening up a new restaurant in London. I want to work with you. And so the return on using this GIF to show up, and because he even said, they had some relationship in the past, but he pointed out that it was because his comment caught his attention and it caused this to happen. And so it's that staying top of mind, but doing it organically. And Sean, you mentioned the thank you. So for Scott, what's more luxury hotel type of showing up in this way than having a handwritten note? And so Scott and I kind of got into that. What's a way that you could show up in that way? So I had him record him writing thank you on like his iPad or something, and we turned it into a GIF. So he has awesome. a handwritten thank you note, but it's from Auden Hospitality, but it's actually Scott's handwriting that's writing the thank you. So if they ever get the actual thank you note, they can compare handwriting samples. Cool. But it's a way to show up. And so thinking through, and so I want to Ian's point about thinking through your list of GIFs that you might want to create. What are some comments that you find yourself repeatedly posting or saying to people, whether it's thank you for tagging us or thank you or happy birthday or congratulations, and kind of thinking through that range of emotions. And love this is something that people will comment on stuff, but having it branded to you and your business, it's a great way to organically show up because it allows the person to start the conversation and you're reacting with branded content to remind them you are still there and you're available if they want to chat. Back to you.
Awesome. If you guys are listening, we appreciate it. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for following on LinkedIn, Cali Barbecue Media. You can go to betheshow.media/rising tides. You can register. You can put your email address in. We now have a Rising Tide Slack channel. If you want to join that Slack channel, just email us podcast@calibbq.media. We have a LinkedIn channel. We have a Instagram channel. We want to support you on all the platforms. We are all creators. We're all storytellers. And as always, we believe a rising tide lifts all ships. So this community will support you no matter what you're doing. If you have an event, if you have a product you're dropping, if you have a podcast, if you have a special post that you need help with engagement, we're all here for each other. But let's go ahead and do some tip, takeaway, homework assignment. I'll let Elizabeth close us out with her GIF summary. Richard, why don't you kick us off? Tip, takeaway, homework assignment.
I love this conversation. I have so much fun with my GIFs. I just encourage everybody to do the same. I'm going to be pestering Elizabeth because I'm not the best with changing email signatures on how to update mine. And then on Tuesday, Elizabeth, I might need a little hand creating an Instagram reel that includes Big Ben, Mind the Gap. I just like if Adam sees this, he's going to be like,
hold on. Are you having tea in the Parliament or just lunch? Yeah. Or does lunch always include tea?
I'm having lunch. I'm not having afternoon tea. I'm having lunch.
So tea is not included with lunch.
Well, no, I might have a cup of tea afterwards. But Adam's laughing. Afternoon.
I need to know the protocol.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to make this real simple for you. You come to London. We'll tea for lunch. Then we'll do afternoon tea. Then we'll do dinner, and then we might get a bit of supper on the way home. Think like a hobbit. Just keep eating all day.
I was going to say, 11sies in there somewhere.
And what's dessert?
Oh, delicious.
No, what is it? What's it called?
Oh, in dessert. Well, we'll get you a nice pudding.
Pudding. There you go. Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of fun. No, but I intend to have a nice lunch, a few glasses of champagne,
Amazing.
A cup of tea,
okay.
And then...
But are you going to get a photo of you drinking tea in the Parliament, not being boring?
Correct.
Yes.
And I intend to wear pink shoes in Parliament.
Pink shoes with the tea in Parliament, not being boring.
Living the dream. So I'm going to, and then I'm going to GIF it up.
GIF it up.
Do you know what? I think that should be a new thing. Elizabeth, that should be your challenge. GIF it up. Get everybody to GIF up. And final one, Ian, I've sent you a LinkedIn in-mail with one of my GIFs in just to amuse you. And for the last half hour, I've been having a GIF battle with Mercedes where we've been trying to make each other laugh during this call. We both lost.
Fantastic. Thank you, Richard. Mandy, takeaway homework assignment.
I like a gift battle, Richard. That's fun. My takeaway is the Elizabeth reminding that the hashtags, the tags that you put when you create the GIF that really give the visibility. And so actually, as we were talking, I actually went into my what made you laugh today, my banana GIF, and I changed some of the tags out to how are you, what's up, how's things, because that's what people actually might search. And I'd rather have them say what made you laugh today than how are you. So just the tags, the actual tags that you put on the back end are really important. So thank you for that reminder, Elizabeth.
Awesome. Thank you, Mandy. Ian, takeaway homework assignment.
Oh, I learned so much about GIFs. I didn't know they were location specific and all that kind of thing. So that was a huge takeaway for me, and something that'll be super useful going forward. The tags and all that. My homework is to make my list of GIFs. So I gotta get on top of that. And I also am gonna give myself homework to make my own personal hook. So I gotta come up with something. I'm spitballing, like hospitality blooded. Maybe it was one of those. We'll see. Workshopping.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate it, Ian. Thank you for joining. I hope you keep joining us. It's been awesome to see you on LinkedIn, showing up and being a part of this community. So if anybody's watching, please show up. You always got to have a first time, but then the key is consistency. So this community can support you no matter where you are and what you're building. Adam, takeaway homework assignment.
My homework assignment is to actually use a lot more of the GIFs because I have such an amazing arsenal of it, and I guess I need to basically buy a little mini Surface Go. It's a Windows computer, so I've got one with me, so I can just whip it out and use it. I do have a little Surface Go, so I think I'm gonna do that a lot more. I'm gonna see if it's possible to do some automation with Make.com and GIFs. If I can try that with Instagram, because you can do some really cool stuff. Tip. Use your data in the right way, people. Don't just collect it and do nothing with it. Please just communicate and have that sense of community. So everyone listening, please use your data in the right way. It's there for you at the tip. Don't use MailChimp. Don't listen to all those silly podcasts that say go use MailChimp. Go look at Brevo.com. Same thing. You can set automations up. So yeah, that's my homework for the rest of you guys.
Awesome. And just a reminder, programming note, next Wednesday, we have Matt Plapp from America's Best Restaurants. He's going to talk about automated email campaigns that you need every day. Matt Plapp is awesome. I've done podcasts with him, America's Best Restaurant, Cali Barbecue. We use them to help us, and we have a media company. So if restaurants are struggling with marketing, one of our fundamental beliefs is to ask for help. But I'm really excited to have Matt Plapp on. The community, please join us so that you can ask questions about email campaigns. We haven't done an episode on emails in a while, so I'm excited to.
Where's he from, Sean?
He's from Kentucky. Matt Plapp is from America's Best Restaurants. America's Best Restaurants.
Thanks.
Yeah, America's Best Restaurants. Elizabeth, go ahead and tie a bow on the episode.
Yeah, sure. I had a lot of fun preparing for today because Richard was encouraging me to look up extra stats. I usually quote in this room that my GIFs have been viewed over 5.7 billion times, but those are my personal Izzy Inc. GIFs. When I start to include Mandy and Richard and Adam and Cali Barbecue and Sean, I'm now over 10 billion views on the GIFs I've created for Giphy. And what I love about that, yes, exactly, is celebrating that it's the gifts for your business. It's the attention that's being drawn to you, and it's offering these people that I love their businesses and the content that they're creating, and it's giving them a way to showcase that. And like, I love that if nothing else from this meeting, if Ian is able to harness that tagline, it's going to be a powerful thing for him and for his community, for him to be able to bring this to them. And so anyway, I loved that part of it. I wanted to give one final homework assignment, if you will. If you're an Instagram user, I love using Instagram, but last year, midsummer, they added the ability for you to comment on any post, any reel, any carousel with a GIF in the comment section. So when you go to the comment section and you touch it, the GIF button shows up and you can comment with that. Well, let's say Mandy posts something and I comment on her post. And she wants to comment with one of her GIFs on my comment on her post. She may try to hit reply, but the GIF button disappears. So if Mandy wants to reply with her custom GIF to that comment, she has to delete my handle, and then the GIF button will reappear. So she can actually respond on her posts to the comments with this thought leadership. So let's say somebody asks a question and she's already made a GIF that has the answer in it, and she'll be able to respond with that. But you can also go on any post on Instagram and comment with GIFs, but also respond to comments with a GIF. So say somebody commented something really funny on your favorite artist's channel, you can hit reply and send them a GIF that might make them laugh and bring some joy. So that's my homework assignment, is that you need to go out and do this. Why? Because it increases the engagement. It shows the algorithm that you like this person, they like you, you're interacting. I hate to tell you this, but social media is social. It's in the title, and you have to get out and actually engage with people and not just blast them and expect them all to come to the party. Get out there and engage just a little bit. Same in the DMs. If you just communicate with people in the DMs. By the way, one quick note, I know I've already done this, but in Instagram DMs where the notes are at the top, if you tap the note, the GIF button shows up. So you can react to anybody's notes with a GIF in the DM arena. Anyway, it's a great way for you just to reboost in each other's algorithm to interact quickly with that. So anyway, I'll hand it back to you, Sean.
What's the best place for people to connect with you, Elizabeth?
Yeah, sure. So I am on Instagram a lot. So at Izzy Inc. So Instagram.com/Izzy Inc. And LinkedIn is probably number 2 for me. It's actually LinkedIn.com Izzy Inc. as well, or the IN, however that works there. But I also, izzyinkstudios.com is my website if you're curious about setting up a time to chat and learn a little bit more about how maybe we can harness your thought leadership for 2025.
That's amazing. And if you guys want to,
can you share your YouTube link as well?
Yep.
My YouTube link.
No, that's just because you've done some videos on you've done some awesome tutorial videos, and I keep forgetting where they are.
I think my YouTube. This is so. Sean is gonna punch me through the screen.
What have we talked about YouTube on these calls?
I already feel the kick in the rear happening. I don't remember what my YouTube channel. It might be Izzy Inks with an S. I'm gonna.
So it looks like Elizabeth just gave herself homework. So
I did. I just got
updating
my own
YouTube is on Elizabeth's homework list.
Also, I just really quick, I do co-host a show every Tuesday at 10 a.m. We're live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, called Cultivate, with my co-host Stephanie Gillis-Paulgard. And we love talking to small business owners really that are trying to DIY their social media. And so we give strategies and practical tips and tutorials and try to keep you up to date with the new features, etc. So please check that out. And you can find the links on my LinkedIn. Thank you.
Awesome. And thank you to Mike and Stover producing today. We appreciate it. And everybody that tuned in on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Thank you. Every Wednesday, every Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and 6 p.m. London time. We meet, and we would love for you guys to join us. You can reach out, podcast@calibbq.media. We can add you to any of the digital communication channels. If you have an idea for a topic that you want this group and this community to discuss, please let us know. We're always open to new topics. If you want to host a room, if you want to be a guest, just let us know. This is a different style of a podcast, and we're grateful for this community for sticking with us from Clubhouse to LinkedIn live audio to now streaming on Riverside using video. We are a persistent community, and we believe a rising tide lifts all ships. So thank you all. Thank you, Mandy, Richard, Elizabeth. Great episode. Ian, thanks for joining, and everyone else that joined us today. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye. Great show. Have a great weekend.
Bye.